Hello, everybody. This is Brian Baldinger at Baldy NFL across all social media. Pick a platform. That's where I'm at Baldy NFL. I am also, you can watch this daily football podcast, the best football show. You can download your Odyssey app for free and look up the show, watch it on a pretty regular basis here, and see what I have to say about all things football. The three letters that are key for me this week are OTA, Organized Team Activities. These are all voluntary, by the way, across the league. None of these are mandatory. And I'm going to go see at least three this week. I'm going to see the New York Giants tomorrow morning. I'm going to see the Eagles in the afternoon. And I'm going to see the Jets on Thursday. Looking to see if I can get access to either the Ravens or Washington on Friday. And then I'm looking to see teams next week as well. So not all these OTAs are open to the media or open to the public. So you have to kind of like pick and choose which day. So I'm excited. The Giants and Eagles have invited me up tomorrow. So I'll be there. So honestly, if you're a Giant fan, I mean, let me be your eyes and ears of what I see. But, I mean, obviously, you got to go to Jackson Dart, right? I mean, he's the 25th pick in the draft. They have not replaced Eli Manning since Eli Manning retired and stepped away. And so it's been a long drought. You could talk about Daniel Jones and everybody else that has played. You know, Russell Wilson this year, or who knows if Jameis Winston. But, I mean, you want to go watch Jackson Dart throw a football. I've never seen him throw it live. I've seen plenty of tape on him. 3 years at Ole Miss, a year at USC. I mean, I've seen him throw plenty of footballs. But I'm just here to tell you that there's nothing quite like evaluating a quarterback and seeing him throw live. That's why throwing is really important. It's why the pro days can be important. The combine can be important. You want to see the ball come out of a quarterback's hands. There's just something about it. I mean, I've told people for years now, since I first saw Justin Herbert throw a football, I'm like, everybody should watch that guy throw a football. I mean, it's something to see. I mean, that's real talent, real arm talent. But you could say that about Mahomes or Josh Allen or even Lamar. And then there's Joe Burrow, who's just technically so perfect in everything that he does throwing the football. So there's a lot of things to look at. But I would say, this Giant rookie class has a chance, to be pretty special. I mean, I'm a big Cam Scadaboo fan. I want to see him. Nobody's going to hit him tomorrow. But you just want to see him, his size, the size of his quads, see him move, see him catch the ball. Kind of want to see that. I want to see Darius Alexander from Toledo. I mean, I saw him at the Senior Bowl live practicing. Big frame, real long. I want to see that. Obviously, Abdul Carter. Just watch his movement. I mean, I tell people all the time, this is not, to me, scouting football players, it's not the most difficult thing in the world. Some people get it right better than others. But honestly, scouting players, it's just the study of movement. I want to see Abdul move. I've seen plenty of tape on him. I've talked to him. I've met him. I've been to Penn State, met with him. But I've never seen him just move, live with my own eyes. I'm like when LaDainian Tomlinson came out of TCU. I'll never forget. I did a Senior Bowl that year, and I'm in Mobile, Alabama, and I'm down at practice. And I'm walking onto the field with the agent for Steve Hutchinson, who's in the same draft. And I remember seeing LaDainian Tomlinson from afar. The first time I saw him touch a ball, catch it, shake a defender in the flat, and go. I'll never forget LaDainian's movement that day and just how sudden and quick and explosive it was. And he ended up having a Hall of Fame career, first ballot Hall of Fame career. Like, there's just certain things that your eyes can't be deceived by. So the rookie class, can be pretty special. But I also think for the first time, the Giants might actually put together a good offensive line. First of all, I think they've done some good things. We'll see what Evan Neal looks like. They're still waiting for him. He's going to move into guard. We'll see what he looks like. He'll be a big guard at 6'7", 340 pounds if he's around there. But, Illuminar and Andrew Thomas and John Runyon and John Michael Schmitz. I mean, we'll see but they look like they've got depth. They picked up some guys in free agency. That looks like they've got depth and some competition. So let's take a look. They drafted Marcus Embo out of Purdue. I liked him a lot. Looked like he could play guard or tackle, but he's got good size and good movement. So let's see if the Giants have some depth on the offensive line. Let's see how they basically shake this out. Nothing's going to get determined tomorrow. But you want to play your best 5 players, whoever they are. And so let's take a look tomorrow at the offensive line. Let's see how they protect. Let's watch Jackson Dart throw a football. You can't get enough of Malik Neighbors. You just can't. I tell people that, that Brian Burns is a really good player, and sometimes his movement is elite. So let's just see what they do defensively. And, they had issues at corner last year. Let's see who they line up. Let's see what the 22 starters kind of look like right now and where the competition might be. That's kind of want to see all of that, and then just see how Dable, runs practice tomorrow with all these new pieces, free agency, draft. It looks good, but it's May 28th tomorrow. Nothing gets decided on May 28th, but I'm anxious to go see it. And just as excited after I see them in the morning, I'm going to see the Eagles in the afternoon. And honestly, the Eagles have new coaches. They have a new offense coordinator. They have a new quarterback coach. Kellen Moore has moved on. Doug Nussmeier, the quarterback coach, has moved on. They've been replaced. So Kevin Patullo now is the offensive coordinator. They've hired Bowling Green's head coach to be the quarterback coach. Let's see kind of what that looks like, the transference of power. Vic Fangio is back. Let's see what, the defensive line looks like. It always starts there. So let's look at Jihad Campbell. He's the 31st pick in the draft. Jihad Campbell. I know he's training down in Fort Lauderdale. I just had some buddies of mine send some video of him working out down there. So, go get a chance to meet Jihad. Honestly, their offense returns intact outside of Mekhi Becton, who moved on in free agency at right guard. And there's a hole at right guard, just like there was last year at this time. Tyler Steen, Kenyon Green. They drafted 3 offensive linemen. Let's watch Drew Kendall. Let's go down, in the individual drills and go watch Jeff Stoutland work his offensive line out. Let's see him work on the bag drills and, hit a Crowder and do some certain things. Walk through some different patterns. I'm excited. And then, look, they drafted Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord, I'm right here, right now, at NFL Films in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Kyle McCord grew up 5 minutes from here. Went across the river to St. Joe's Prep. Went to high school there. Was a teammate of Marvin Harrison Jr. at St. Joe's Prep for 3 years. Let's watch Kyle McCord, his homecoming here. I like Kyle McCord a lot. There's a lot to like. His year at Ohio State, waiting behind C.J. Stroud, and his year last year, Notre Dame. Kyle McCord was really good, So, am I getting that confused here? Why am I getting that confused? Kyle McCord, yeah. So, anyways, I'm excited to see him. And then on Thursday morning, I'm heading up the Turnpike to Florham Park, New York, to see the Aaron Glenn-led New York Jets. So honestly, it's all new. And in past years, the last 2 years, I'd go up there for an OTA or I'd go up for a mini camp. And the buzz was so palpable, with Aaron and all the guys that they were signing and, Robert Saleh excited and the owner Woody Johnson excited. And the buzz was big. All these slow motion passes that Aaron Rodgers was throwing to Alan Lazard and Garrett Wilson. And it was, you kind of got sucked in. Obviously, tremendous disappointment. This year, I don't feel like Aaron Glenn is doing anything in this offseason except getting his team ready. A new way of doing things. His own discipline in how he employs it, practice habits, system, learning it, digesting it, taking it from, the film room to the walkthroughs to the practice field, building something in place. And the couple times now I've been around Aaron Glenn, He's just been a straight shooter. He's been direct to the point. He's not flowery. He's not colorful. He's not, and I don't mean this in any kind of a negative way. He's just straightforward, straight business. I expect him. I go to his press conference probably on Thursday. I expect that to be kind of the same. He's not out there trying to entertain the media. The media's been through all of it. All the writers for the various newspapers and television stations. You get to know these guys after a while. They can be a little, nothing against. You can get a little cynical after a while of all the promise and yet all the heartache. So I don't think Aaron Glenn, I'm sure that he's treating him with some level of respect. They're reporters. They have a job to do. But his job is to get his team ready. When I go up there on Thursday, it's really, this whole thing right now is, especially with Aaron Rodgers being sent to move on. And remember that meeting between Aaron Rodgers coming from California and Aaron Glenn and meeting at Florham Park took all of about 5 minutes. And Aaron left pretty ticked off that, that's all the time he had for him. But they cut the cord. That's the important thing. They brought in Justin Fields. Justin Fields is the quarterback. I'm anxious to watch Justin. When I watched him in Pittsburgh last summer, he looked good. When I saw him in Chicago, his last year in Chicago, I thought he practiced well. I'm anxious to just see his leadership. He's not a rah-rah guy, but he does get the respect of his teammates. He did at Ohio State. He did, I think, with Chicago, even though the coaching was terrible. And I thought he did last year in Pittsburgh when he got off to a 4-2 start as a starter. And really, I was in Latrobe, and I saw Justin Fields take nearly every snap, and then after practice, Russell Wilson was out with a bad calf or calf strain, whatever. So he got a chance. So let's see the connection with him and Garrett Wilson. Let's see it with, a Mason Taylor, a tight end. Let's see these rookies. Let's look at the new rookie right tackle right now, Armand Membu. Let's see what he looks like at right tackle. It could be the youngest offense line in the entire NFL. But that group has got to get cohesive. They've got to get together. I don't think so I want to see the online, and because they've been since well before Joe Douglas got up there 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whenever it was. They've been trying to put a healthy offensive line together. They haven't been able to do it. Like, is this the year that the Jets put together a good offensive line? They've got a lot of resources. They got 3 number 1 draft picks, Ali Vera Tucker, Membu, last year's number 1 pick. They've got Joe Tippmann, a 2nd-round pick out of Wisconsin. They got John Simpson, a high-priced free agent from Baltimore a year ago at left guard. They've got an awful lot of resources into their offensive line. Let's take a look and see how they are coming together, how crisp they are, assignments, as much as I can see that. I don't think defensively we'll see Jermaine Johnson out there coming back from an Achilles tear, but they need to rebuild this defensive line. Quinn Williams was not great last year. We saw Will McDonald come on, get 10 sacks. It was a factor. They say he's 15 pounds heavier this year. See what he looks like. So a lot to look at over these OTAs. And then just we've got a new coach with the New York Jets. How does he conduct practice? We got an old coach with a lot of new pieces with the New York Giants. And then there's Nick Sirianni, who just got a contract extension. And anybody that's been around Nick Sirianni, very emotional guy, probably the first time that the media is going to be around him and the team since their Super Bowl victory. They've got a bullseye on their back, but I know a lot of the guys on that team. I think they're anxious to get ready to work. The thing about winning the Super Bowl is your offseason is 5 weeks shorter than what both the Jets and the Giants are, or the Miami Dolphins are next week. 5 weeks shorter. You're going all the way through Super Bowl Sunday. Middle of February, you're finishing up, and all these other teams I'm talking about, they finished the first week in January. So it's a little bit shorter, but I would say that knowing some of the guys, they've had a good offseason, but I'm sure they're anxious to get back to work. So I'm anxious to go watch it. And really, this is kind of what I'm thinking. Always starts with the quarterbacks in all three places. Jalen Hurts coming off an MVP performance of a Super Bowl. Just think about it. 6 years ago, he came to this league. Jalen Hurts was the 53rd pick in the draft. He was an afterthought coming out of Oklahoma after transferring from Alabama. And when they drafted him, I was a big advocator of the Eagles using their 53rd pick and developing. I did not know that Carson Wentz was going to fall apart so quickly like he did. He's not even in the league right now. But Jalen Hurts is, and he's a Super Bowl MVP. So, but the Eagles never stopped believing in Jalen Hurts, never stopped building around him to the point right now where they might have the best surrounding cast of a quarterback of any team in this league. Offensive line, Saquon, A.J. Dillon backing him up, the receiving core, bringing Dallas Goedert back for a year. I mean, it's a talented offense. I'm looking forward to seeing what might look different this year with the new offensive coordinator versus what we saw with Kellen Moore a year ago. All right, everybody, that's been the Best Football Show. Kind of previewing the OTA schedule that I'm going to see this week. Really looking forward to reporting back and what I saw. And so please tune into the Best Football Show soon, and I'll tell you what I saw on my tour. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'm Brian Baldinger, and this has been the Best Football Show.